Tech News Weekly is sponsored by Hover.com. Go to gfu.hover.com and get 10% off your entire purchase. FreshBooks. FreshBooks is an easy-to-use online invoicing service that saves you time, gets you paid faster, and makes you look professional. Get started completely for free at freshbooks.com. And by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook by going to audiblepodcast.com/GFQ.
Starting Tech News Weekly in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome everybody to Tech News Weekly. I am Andrew Zarian. Hopefully I'm Andrew Zarian. I'm joined by Spencer the puppy today. Sunkast is not here. It's me and the dog doing the show. Oh no, Sunkast is here. Hey Sunkast, miss you there.
You're replacing me with a dog now?
Yeah, sometimes it's easier.
Well, screw you. I'm leaving.
People are asking me what's that
Have
thing
fun
behind
with the
me.
show.
All right,
Have
see you
fun
later,
editing
Sunkast.
this on your own.
I got Spencer sitting behind me, so people are going to be asking me what that is behind me the entire show. A lot to
Sitting
get
on
to.
a dog.
I technically
Come on,
am.
people. Look at this
Look at
abuse.
this. Look, I'm actually sitting at the edge of the chair because he's kicked me out of my own chair doing the show. It's very difficult to do a show when that's the case. Very difficult,
I thought
Sunkast.
you were supposed to be the man of the house.
No, obviously I'm not. How you been? How's everything?
I've been good. I mean, what is it? Middle of January now? CES is finally over. Thank goodness.
Are you? Well, you know what? CS wrapped up last week, but give me your opinion before we start. Like, what did you think this year?
It was drawn out, and I read a statistic. I think like Engadget posted like 3,000 articles from CES or something like that, and that's just like there's no way anybody can legitimately cover and take in 3,000 posts. That's a little extreme.
Yeah.
It's like if you're gonna post that many articles just on CES, it would be so much better if you had a separate feed for just that and not in the main feed.
Now, do you feel that the problem was that it was saturated with like headphones and crap like that the entire show?
Exactly. Well, that's my point, is that they put out the press release and the story about anything and everything that they get a press release for, and it's just you don't need to see every single piece of that. If they had just their main feed and they put in what they felt were more featured type of press releases,
see, that was a big problem.
More interesting.
I mean, that was a big problem, and I wrote a blog, and I discussed this on What to Tech. I'm writing a column for a magazine here in New York. It's like an FHM type, and I'm their tech columnist, and I wrote a column on CES and what it's become, and I was so disappointed with the thing, and it was supposed to be like a piece of what's the big thing, like what are we going to expect, and I couldn't find anything, and the entire article was just me bashing CES this year, and it was pretty disappointing to feel that way considering it's 2012, you're expecting, new things this year, and I was not really blown away by anything that was displayed.
Yeah, where's all the new technology that we're supposed to get before the end of the world?
Where's the flying cars, Sunkast? Where is the flying cars?
Where's my Judson tube?
Yeah, listen, I got to figure out these cameras. Sorry about that. I'm playing around here and I can't figure out the cameras. It was a very interesting week for the internet this week. The first thing I want to get to, which is probably the biggest story, is the SOPA and PIPA blackouts, the protests that were taking place this week. I believe on Wednesday. Yeah, it was Wednesday. We participated in the blackout. GFQ Live. Guys from Queens.com, GFQnetwork.com went black with the SOPA page. It was a main page. It was black, and it was a spotlight on SOPA and what's happening. And GFQ Live, rather than going black on GFQ Live, what I decided to do is play a video explaining to people what SOPA is, because you'll be amazed on how many people outside of the tech world do not know what SOPA and what PIPA is and how it will affect most people. So rather than just going totally dark, I put Guys from Queens dark because they really... If I'm going to protest, that's the site to do it. And I took GFQ Live and I played that video for about 12 hours from 8 to 12. From 8 to 8.
I just posted in the chat room a link to a blog on Reddit that actually helps explain exactly what PIPA and SOPA is.
Yeah, Reddit did
it's a very good, informative article about exactly what it is, how it affects people, and what it's going to do.
I'm a huge fan of Reddit. I'm on Reddit all day and all night, pretty much. every aspect of Reddit. I'm on. I'm actually amazed on how good that website is and how informative it is for certain things. Like I love the Today I Learned. I'm on there all day long looking at new stuff. The pictures stuff is funny. Like at night, I just go through the pictures with Jess. There's a lot. I mean, Reddit is just this huge thing, and it's actually a very simple and almost archaic way of putting information out. It's like a wiki, but with posts. It's not a forum. It's not a wiki. It's something else in between. It's very interesting what Reddit has done. But Reddit was the big one. I mean, they were the one that did the black ad. And it's hard for me to function without Wikipedia, without Reddit. WordPress.org went down.
There was a ton of sites. There was Wikipedia, Reddit, Google did something as well, Craigslist, Boing Boing, Electronic Frontier Foundation, OpenDNS, WordPress, Mozilla, TwitPic, Free Press, the I Can Has Cheeseburger Network, and a host of, a bunch of other smaller companies out there.
Yeah. I guess the big blackout was Wikipedia for the world. And Reddit. I mean, Wikipedia and Reddit really went black. Yeah. Google did not go black. I mean, I know Google did put information out there and it was great. I believe they said 4 million people read about it or clicked on the link. Mozilla did another thing. I think it's like I think it was Mozilla with 4 million and I think Google with 30 million, something like that. But I Can't Have Cheeseburger really does not affect people in any way. I know people like watching cat pictures all day long, but it really does not affect people. Yeah. The big two, in my opinion, are Wikipedia, which is the largest one, and Reddit, because you really don't realize how often you wiki things. I did not realize how affected I was because I think it was like 3 or 4 times I tried to wiki something. I tried to look something up. And I forgot. Like, I was like, oh, wow, I can't access Wikipedia. So it really affected many people. Reddit.
It's interesting because there's a lot of reports out there from people that are mocking this in a way where they say, oh, it's such a big deal that Wikipedia was down. You can't Google all this misinformation that they have on their website.
I
don't see it that way. I really don't, because Wikipedia has a lot of other information, and I don't look at it exactly for facts. I look at it for information about stuff that isn't necessarily what you would find in like an encyclopedia or actually doing research. I'm looking for stuff that's just general information.
Yeah, like, guess what?
What is the discography for this particular artist?
Yeah, Wikipedia does not. Single? By the way, Wikipedia does not consider me accredited, considering I've been published in multiple magazines and newspapers.
Yeah.
Every time someone tries to create a wiki,
we've been fighting with them over this.
I've had like 5-6 people create a wiki, like viewers, not from the network, because you can't create one for yourself, obviously. But I've had people try to create a wiki for us, and they have removed the Wikipedia for me personally. Somebody lists me under Armenian celebrities, and they listed internet sensation as what I do, as my career, which I found really funny. But the Kardashians are on there, so I don't know. Very biased.
But they're on TV, so.
Yeah. Wikipedia, Reddit, Google, Craigslist, Boing Boing, EFF, OpenDNS, WordPress.org, Mozilla, TwitPic, FreePass, and I Can Ask Cheeseburger Network, just to name a few of the big ones that participate. I think over 7,000 people participated in this.
Yeah. And there's probably several other smaller websites that aren't even, known about that have done something.
And here's the thing. A lot of people are going around saying, oh, it's over. They dropped it. They have not dropped it. All they have done is delay the vote. They have not dropped the bill.
Yeah, they're saying SOPA is dead.
SOPA is not dead. SOPA is delayed.
They're politicians. This is what politicians do. There's too much heat on this right now, so we're just going to not do anything and hope that people forget about it and they quiet down after a while, and then we can push it through.
Yeah, I mean, it's not dead.
That's
so
what they're gonna do.
So if you are involved, then you are following up. I mean, don't think the fight is over. And again, I'm not. And somebody asked me, they go, well, why are you? Someone that really didn't know about it and they were misinformed. They go, why are you for piracy? And I said, well, I'm not for piracy. I'm for free use. Free use goes away if this bill comes into play.
Why are you protesting soap?
Why are you protesting soap? That was the best one. That was the best one. Why are you protesting soap? I don't get it. Why are you protesting soap? But you know what? One interesting thing that led from all of this is the federal prosecutors shutting down Megaupload. This is a developing story. It started yesterday where Megaupload got raided and shut down, considering the fact that they're not in the States. I know they use servers in Virginia, but they are not in the United States.
Right.
And they were shut down. And this is a big, big, big story because even without SOPA, and this just shows you, without SOPA and without any of these bills passed, the United States government can prosecute and shut you down.
Yeah. You know, I joked last week about something being a conspiracy, but in this case, I actually kind of believe that there might be some sort of conspiracy here. Because if you remember, about 3 weeks ago, I think it was, Megaupload had this promotional video done up with a bunch of artists.
I believe it was in December. It was actually in December. Yeah.
And there was a whole lot of flack from Universal Music Group over this, saying, oh, you can't use that. Those are our artists. And they didn't sign off on this, yet they had all these contracts and this whole thing with YouTube. And so I see that as linked to part of this whole thing. All right,
Yeah.
Well, there was this Universal Music thing where they're really upset with Megaupload, and they kind of lost that particular battle, but then they stepped it up and started filing and getting their ducks in a row to help the federal agents make a raid on Megaupload. I really do kind of believe that, because it doesn't seem like it would be a coincidence that Universal Music would actually go on and have this whole thing with Megaupload, and then literally a month later, they're raided by the FBI and shut down.
Well, here's the funny thing with this. Megaupload is not like a peer-to-peer site. It's a file hosting site. You could legitimately, I mean, it's not just for piracy. I know many people use it for piracy. They use it for pornography, videos, music, whatever. But there are people that legitimately use Megaupload as an easy way to upload files and spread them to whoever. You know, they could just upload and give a URL. But what does that sound like to you? That sounds like FileZilla. That sounds like even Dropbox. That sounds like
is an FTP client.
Not FileZilla. What's the other one?
There's FileSonic. In
FileSonic.
fact, I'll get you a whole list here in a second.
FileSonic is one, but the most legitimate, and I know many of them are used for piracy, but the most legitimate is Dropbox. What does this mean for any hosting company like that?
FileSonic, Uploaded, Let It Bit, Extabit, FileServe, Media File, Deposit Files, Netload, Croco, File Factory, Badongo, Force Shared, Dump, Uploading, Storage, Megashares, Ferk, 4FastFile, UploadBox, Goldfile, Gigasize, Enter Upload, TurboBit, Diglo, Hitfile, Oron, Kickload, ZippyShare, SoundCloud, BitShare, PiggyShare, UploadStation, FreakShare, and a whole bunch of other ones.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've used some of these for just transferring files to someone and making it easy for them. What does it mean for these companies? Do they have to be scared because they are a file host and they really cannot control what you or I upload to this company? That is the interesting thing. Megaupload was, in a way, they tried to make an example out of them. And the fact that this company, the fact that the arrests were made in New Zealand, where Megaupload was founded by Kim.com, is phenomenal to me. I find that amazing.
This whole story is a little bit bizarre, too, because now that we found out the CEO of Megaupload is actually Swiss Beach, which is Alicia Keys' husband.
But no, wait a minute. At first, here's the fascinating. At first, they said, yes, he is the CEO. And then they said, no, he's not the CEO. He was negotiating to become the CEO.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So now he is not the CEO, but he did gain financial... he had financial gains from the company, so something weird was going on with that. But now it explains how they got all those artists to agree to make that video.
Yeah.
Now it makes a lot of sense.
This is a very interesting story, and just the timing of it. The timing of this, a couple days after the whole SOPA and PIPA protest, people were saying, oh, this was completely planned to burst the bubble of the protest.
Yeah, I believe so.
But I also don't think that it's a coincidence that just last month Universal Music Group had a whole beef with them, and now they're being raided and shut down. That, to me, does not sound like a coincidence whatsoever.
No, I think this was strategic. I think that, coming off the heels of one of the biggest online demonstrations, so far, for the federal government to do this.
Either. I mean, if you look, there was a fairly large protest at Midtown Manhattan in New York. About 1,000 people, they said, showed up to protest this legislation.
But again, see here, and I want to put this out there. for people who think this is just for piracy. This bill is not just for piracy, and they're trying to target it in a way where it's for piracy, but you do not... Every day you are in some way violating this bill. For every time you upload a picture that doesn't belong to you, for every time you quote something, and I'm just taking it to an extreme, by the way. Every time, let's say you know, for fair use examples, you know, let's say we're doing the show and we want to pull up a video where we're referencing something, and I go, here's the clip, and I play that. If I do not have rights to air that, I'm now in violation of SOPA. There's something that we fall under, and that's fair use. Because we are a news show or a news organization, I don't think you would call us that, but you could classify us as somewhat of a journalist. We are covering technology, and we're commenting on it. We fall under fair use. So I could take a video and play it and discuss it. Now, we do that a lot.
If you were to post that on Megaupload, oh, well, that's a copyright violation.
It's a copyright violation. And with YouTube, I'll give you an example. What happens with us with YouTube, even to the point that we have commented on a Google product, played a Google product's video, promoting it and praising it, their system has tagged us and told us we are in copyright violation. The great thing about this is I could appeal that. And after a certain amount of time, I still have the luxury of keeping that video up and not being penalized for it.
Mm-hmm.
With this, that appeal process totally goes out the window. And it's over.
Yes,
that's a big problem.
Make things so much easier for federal agencies to take down anything they suspect of being in violation of copyright. And this is interesting because they're not looking at just light charges, the founders of Megaupload. They're looking at possibly 20 years for laundering money and whatever else they did, because they say all the money that's connected to them is criminal, that they made like $500 million in criminal proceeds and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. Just they're going after them very, very hardcore. It's just they're saying, according to the press release, Megaupload generated more than $175 million in criminal proceeds and caused more than $500 million in harm to copyright owners.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I want to know, how is that harmful? Explain to me how.
Well, what
some of this stuff is harmful.
The weird thing, and by the way, I'm getting a lot of messages. We are experiencing problems with our IRC server for whatever reason. A lot of people are not able to go in or out. I've been kicked out of my own room like 15 times. So
same here.
Please be patient. It should be coming back. How is that harmful? Well, you know what it is. They look at it as, well, you're taking money away from the artists and Hollywood and the music industry, and those are causing job loss. That's their argument now. But it's really not. It's really not. In a way, you know how many times I've heard a song on YouTube? I'll give you a perfect example. And this is the greatest way of self-promoting yourself. I've heard a song on YouTube, and I said, you know what? This is a great song. I'm going to go buy that album. And because of one song, I bought the album. I did that with Mumford & Son. I did that with the Avid Brothers. I went and I bought the entire album because of one song that I heard on YouTube. If it wasn't available on YouTube, I would have never bought it.
Right.
So this works. The system that we have in place now, yes, it's not perfect, but it does work. And they are profiting from digital sales, and they are profiting from digital distribution illegally, you know, and I'm putting that in quotes, of the songs. It does help.
Well, it's not only that, but let's look at this. I have a website, Amadeus.com, where I feature YouTube artists that do cover songs of other artists. If SOPA and PIPA were passed, I don't think anybody could cover any song whatsoever and post it on YouTube. Yeah. At all. All these great artists that want to promote themselves on YouTube covering songs, because let's face it, not everybody is into finding artists online that sing original content. They want to hear somebody sing a song that's already a hit. So if SOPA and PIPA passes, they're not going to be able to do anything like that, I don't think.
Yeah. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. You want to go into the anonymous story? Because that kind of leads into this, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, because this whole SOPA PIPA thing has been quite big this week, between the blackout protest and Megaupload getting shut down, which just kind of coincided with the protest. It seems fishy, but so in result, Anonymous has retaliated now, and they've shut down several websites. Department of Justice, I believe, is one of them. They shut down Universal Music Group, and I believe a couple of other ones, including the MPAA and RIAA, they shut down for a little while.
Mm-hmm. How do you know how long they were down?
It was fluctuating between 13 and 14 hours, I think they said.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, but it is interesting how fast they're able to take the Department of Justice's website down.
Oh yeah,
that amazes
me. They said that they were going nuclear. They had a map of showing the cyber activity and whatnot, and it was just glowing red in the United States compared to everywhere else.
It's hysterical. It's actually amazing to me.
But it's just like, well, what do you expect? They kind of asked for this. Come on, do you think you're really gonna take down a site like Megaupload?
Well, what I find hysterical.
Anonymous retaliate.
What I find hysterical is that majority of these guys are young kids, and that's the amazing thing to me, how they're able to do this. It's actually very embarrassing for them.
Every other file hosting website out there, FileServe, Hotfile, MediaFire. If Megaupload is gone, what's to stop anybody from taking down these websites that also host files? I mean, yeah, there's going to be some legitimate files on there, and sure, there's going to be some files that are pirate stuff, but I was talking to you earlier, and I gave you the analogy of gun control and how people say guns are bad, they kill people. It's not that guns are bad, it's just that people use them to kill people.
So how do you eliminate that? Yeah, so how do you eliminate it? You eliminate guns.
Right, so no more guns. Nobody can ever have a gun because we're going to become like England where guns are illegal.
Yeah.
And so now you've just ruined that for everybody. So no more file host ever, period. You can't host files anywhere.
I'm curious to see how this will affect Dropbox.
The internet is basically just files hosted somewhere.
Yeah. I do want to move on because there's some other news. I do want to go to the Apple education announcement. Apple held an event here at the Guggenheim in New York City where they announced a couple of things. They announced, and I'm going to run down the list, and we'll talk about it. They announced iBooks 2, iBooks Author, and iTunes U, which is now a separate app. iTunes U, to me, is one of the most interesting applications and most interesting services that iTunes has, and Apple has. They pretty much allow you to have these unbelievable lectures and get a college education for free, which is phenomenal. I've listened to a bunch of lectures. There's a bunch on programming, which is, I think, the number one lecture right now is on iPhone programming, which is very handy for many people that want to get into it, and it's totally free. This has kind of been like a hidden feature for Apple for many years. It's been there, but nobody really knows about it, and now it's becoming a prominent app.
What they're doing is they're expanding it now, and before it was kind of just mainly for lectures and podcast for students, but now they're going to expand that so that teachers can actually post information like syllabuses, biographies, and whatnot.
Yeah. So they're
going to connect iTunes U to actual classes in universities so that teachers and professors can actually connect with students through this iTunes U application.
Yeah. One amazing thing, and I had no idea, they've had over 700 million downloads in iTunes U. That's a huge number.
Yeah.
And it's almost like this hidden feature in iTunes that many people don't know about. You could get a college education. I mean, you could take Stanford, Harvard, Yale. You could take courses, and it's amazing. All on iTunes U. So it became its own app, and they're really going to push that. As Sunkast said, you could get syllabuses, teacher bios, course descriptions, and overviews. You can get assignments. You can bring specific parts of your textbook. So it's actually very interesting. The other one is iBooks 2. It's the second coming of iBooks, which marks a much larger push towards education for Apple's already crazy popular tablet. Apple showed off a few of their new titles, letting us get some, I guess the company, they got some hands-on experience with it. It's textbooks, right? That's what it is?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of the caveats here is that, it's great. They're fairly inexpensive, but you're putting this on a tablet, and these books range from 800 megabytes to almost 3 gigabytes.
Yeah.
So you're probably not going to be able to put a whole lot on there.
Titles are already available on iTunes, priced at an attractive $14.99 and below. The size of the books are a little less than appealing because they're so large, but you do have a textbook on your iPad now. This is going to change the way schools start functioning in a way. And I was talking to Jessica, and she knows a little bit about this, and I was saying, it would be very interesting if, let's say, New York City decided you're going to get an iPad, every kid gets an iPad, all your textbooks are on there, so you really don't need to lug around a big textbook anymore.
Yeah.
Because these kids are lugging around,
well,
500-600 page
those
books.
Textbooks available.
So the textbooks need to be available, and they'll be available in the iBook store, and they could purchase it that way, or school could do a bulk buy. And Jessica said, well, how about all those kids that are going to get robbed for the iPad?
Yeah. Lose all your iBooks.
Right? I mean...
that would be so bad.
And I was saying, well, they'll probably have a kill system where if it gets robbed, somebody else is using it, it gets killed. But she was saying, well, like, let's say it's a gang. It's like a gang-infested area here in New York. They wait in front of those little kids. They get the iPads. They don't really know, and they're robbing kids left and right for these iPads.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you have a point. That might not work here.
With smartphones now, too, is that they're being targeted because they actually have an iPhone.
Yeah. Very interesting. An iBooks author, very interesting. It allows anybody to be an author and put your book up in the iBooks store. So you can make a book. We're going to get a lot of crappy books, I guarantee you that. So it's a simple drag and drop function.
It sounds like a great program that's very easy to use, which is what Apple was going for and what they normally do with all their products.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw one of my notes in there, though, that I was reading further into this whole iBooks thing, and there's one problem with this is that it's really easy to use. It's great, and you can charge a fee or you can give it away for free. But here's the catch. If you want to charge a fee for your iBook, you can only sell it through the Apple iBook store. You can't sell it anywhere else.
Oh, is that how it works? Well, yeah, because you're publishing with their software, so pretty much now they own your book.
No, but see, that's the thing is, you can create an iBook and use it on pretty much any Apple device. It's not necessarily specific to Apple. There's other iBooks out there that you can put on your tablet and use it with iBook and whatever the software is that they have. But to say that you can't, it's basically in their license agreement is saying that, all right, well, once you charge a fee for this, you can't sell it through any other bookstore.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Because you could start up any other bookstore. Amazon could have a bookstore and sell iBooks to people with Apple products and Apple devices.
Well, this is how they're going to lock you in their environment. It's a very strange thing that they're doing, but this is how they're going to do it because they're offering you the function for free. So they don't want to see you benefit off of what they're giving you for free. They're telling you, okay, listen, you can make a book all you want, but you can't take that book.
You do have to take into consideration and look at when you're doing something like this is that you do have the benefit of getting into the Apple environment, but at the same time, that's the only environment that you can be in then.
Yeah. Yeah, very interesting. I do want to talk about Yahoo's Jerry Yang quitting. Jerry Yang is one of the original founders of Yahoo, and he stepped down. And this is interesting because he is the guy who killed the Microsoft deal.
Mm-hmm. I don't know much about Jerry Yang.
You know what's interesting about Jerry Yang? Jerry Yang had the option to sell Yahoo to Microsoft for a very, very high price, and he pretty much killed the deal. Microsoft benefited greatly by the deal being dead. At that time, people thought they kind of needed Yahoo to kind of survive in the web browser game, but they've done quite well, and it was actually quite beneficial for them to not get Yahoo. But Yahoo collapsed after that. I mean, their stock has been tumbling ever since. The company's not doing too well, and he finally stepped down. I don't know what this means for Yahoo, because my problem with Yahoo is the fact that they have these great pieces of online real estate. You know, they have a gossip site that does quite well. They have Flickr. They have a number of sites. Yahoo Sports is apparently really good. But they don't know how to handle it. The main portal, I mean, Yahoo's main page is awful. It's stuck, in the past. They really haven't done much with it.
What would you envision for Yahoo? How do they need to Is it just that they need to rebrand themselves or
No.
remarket themselves?
Well,
or...
first of all, they don't have a browser anymore. Yahoo does not have a web browser. Yahoo is using... look, I have 33 emails in Yahoo, and I had no idea. I logged onto Yahoo
all
for the
spam.
first time. Actually, I'll pull up Yahoo here because people could see it. I mean, if you look at Yahoo, it's very ancient looking. And the layout doesn't fit. Like, if you go to Yahoo and then you go to Flickr, for example, it looks like two separate sites.
Well, they are.
Well, I think they need to streamline better, in my opinion. If they streamline
So
the
they need to
services
do something
better,
more where it's all integrated like Google is.
in a way, either they could go in that direction or they could go in the AOL direction where they have bought up nearly every major blog.
But AOL's not doing too well either.
I think, well, AOL, they're not doing worse than Yahoo is. I mean,
but they're not doing good like Google is.
But AOL has kind of outlined their future, right? They're out of the web host provider, they're out of the ISP business, and they're in this new blogging business. That's where AOL has gone in the last couple of years. Yahoo has not really set a direction for where they're planning on going in the next, 2 to 3 years. Yahoo's just sitting there.
Well, they're still more of a portal website, I think.
Yeah, and listen, millions of people still use them.
I mean, you're still talking about Flickr. Flickr was bought by Yahoo.
Yeah, they did buy them.
They had that design before they were bought by Yahoo, so that's why you're seeing something, I think, a little bit different. It's not like Yahoo Mail, where Yahoo Mail is completely branded Yahoo.
Let me go into Yahoo Mail. I haven't gone into Yahoo Mail in a long time. Yeah, it's awful. Just awful. It really is. I'm sorry, but it's just really bad. They need to really do something with this. I got to delete all these emails. Look at this. This is all my my Flickr stuff.
I kind of see Yahoo kind of in the same boat that RIM is in. Where they're just not doing too well. They have a lot of dead weight, or they have people in charge that aren't willing to go in a new direction, in a direction that needs to change, and they're not really willing to make those changes.
Yeah, well, that kind of leads into the next topic. This week, there were rumors that Samsung was going to buy RIM. The second I heard those rumors, I said it's baloney. There's no way Samsung is going to want to be interested in RIM. I understand patents, but there's also a huge headache that comes along with buying RIM at this point.
Oh, totally.
I did a podcast, the SMR podcast last week, and really great guys, and it was a very interesting conversation. And one of the people on the panel said that somebody would want to purchase RIM because they make great hardware. And I'm thinking, at this point, everybody's making great hardware. Name me someone that's not making great hardware. I mean, you look at Motorola, you look at HTC, you look at Samsung, you look at all of them, and they're all making decent hardware. I mean, I can't say any of them are making awful hardware. I mean, Motorola is just getting back into the game, but it's not awful hardware. I can't think of anybody that's making awful hardware at this point. So does the hardware sell? Is that a selling point for RIM at this point? I cannot see anybody going in and saying, you know what, I want to buy RIM because of their customer base, because of, let's look at it. They have their customer base, which is great. They have millions of users. What are you going to do with that?
I don't know. It's just me. I don't understand why somebody would want to buy a BlackBerry these days. Verizon recently released a new Curve model, and I'm just thinking, dear Lord, why?
Well, here's the big problem.
Why do they want to buy this? What's it good for? Why not buy one of these other hundreds of Android devices that Verizon has?
If I was
why
RIM,
would you choose a BlackBerry over every other device that Verizon sells?
Well, I'll give you an example. If I had RIM in my hands right now, right? Let's buy RIM, for example. Me and you, we buy RIM. We're co-CEOs.
Yeah,
because that's what they like doing. Nobody can run that company.
They're Canadian.
Yeah. No offense, Uber. Good to see you back. First thing I would do is eliminate all those names. Curve, Bold. I don't know. Like, if I'm not in the BlackBerry environment, I have no idea which is what. They all look the same to me. Get rid of it. Have one QWERTY keyboarded phone. You call it a Curve if you want. You can call it a which one is their flagship one? Curve?
Bold.
The Bold. Okay, call it the Bold. Then you have one entry-level touchscreen Maybe have a touchscreen and a QWERTY if you want. And then you have one flagship touchscreen phone, which is your leader. That is the phone. You need 3 phones. That's all you need. You don't even need 3. You need 2.
I would do only 2.
I would do 2 if you want to push it. You want to introduce something different to the market. Fine, add a 3rd.
Well, it's clear that they can't even get products out on time.
They can't. No, you would eliminate it. You would have one BlackBerry Classic for now with the old environment because you don't want to kill that. You would add the second one with the new UI, and you go from there.
Yeah,
you don't
I
need.
think what they're doing now is focusing in just one product for BlackBerry 10. I think that's really smart and definitely what they need to be doing. But they should have been doing this. Like I've said, I've been struggling with BlackBerry for a number of years now, at least 2 years, and it's just, well, it's like, come on, are you going to get on the train yet? Come on, get on the train. When are they going to get on the train? When are they going to get
that train is passed?
Times?
No. The problem is the train is passed, and they are. It is Palm 2008 all over again. I mean, this is it is amazing to me how they did not learn from Palm's mistakes. Palm was in the same category. You know, Palm was an enterprise phone. Palm was enterprise, and they are enterprise. And everybody says, well, you know, you want to stay with them because they're secure. Guess what? Most people don't care about that. People want to stay with them because of exchange support. Guess what? Everybody almost has exchange support at
Windows
this point.
Mobile 6.
Everybody has exchange support. You want to stay with them because it's enterprise. Guess what? Everybody's enterprise. Everybody has an iPhone. Everybody has an Android. Nobody's looking to say.
Support for
everybody
exchange.
has support. So at this point, what is your selling point, Rim, other than
Their
everything that I
selling
just
point
listed?
is manageability. Being able to manage multiple devices from a central location and having everything go through their enterprise server. Being able to control every single aspect of that phone company-wide is their selling point.
I don't know. I don't know what they can do. I mean, I know they have a customer base. I know they have the technology. I know they have the patents. What I advise is them getting a separate company to potentially buy them and rebrand them and still sell them as RIM. I do not think they would benefit from being bought by any number of these companies. If they buy it, they're going to kill it. And I don't think they necessarily should kill it at this point. I think there's a lot that they could do. I think the BBX operating system is pretty impressive. I mean, it's not awful in my opinion. I don't think the BlackBerry 10, I'm sorry, they lost that right. BlackBerry 10 OS is a bad operating system from what I have seen. QNX is actually very interesting. But
yeah,
what are they going to do? How are they going to market it? They're in a big mess right now. I would cut back. I would start cutting back as much as I can if I was them to survive the next year, the next 18 months.
I'll give you my honest opinion. I don't think they can pull it off.
I think they have 18 months left at this point.
Because knowing RIM and how they've marketed every product in the past, I just don't see them changing enough to do it the way it needs to be done. And I don't think that the market is there for them anymore. There's just not going to be... There's a lot of people that are turned off by them. And between all of this, I just don't think that they can make the kind of comeback that one would expect a company of that caliber at one time that they were.
Listen, we might just be a 3 smartphone world, 3 operating system world. We have Android, we have iOS, we have Windows. HP's WebOS has kind of gone open source. So I actually predict that we're going to see at least one major manufacturer producing a WebOS phone by the end of the year.
Maybe.
That's what I predict.
This is really interesting because I think we're kind of at that point where either Android's going to be, reign supreme for a while, and then somebody's going to have to go through a rebirth, a revitalization, a new evolution, and they'll become king of the hill once again. Whether it be WebOS, whether it be iOS, whether it be Windows Phone, someone's going to have some sort of rebirth, I think, and take over that market from Android where it is right now, because it's kind of, in my opinion, a little bit stale. I mean, you look at iOS now, all right, well, they've had 5 generations or 4 generations of iOS and the iPhone. What do they do now? Because I think at 5 years, they need to do something drastically different.
Yeah, it is time for them to change, but they are the safe bet right now. They are the one that you kind of recommend, and we were discussing this with Paul on Wednesday. On Tuesday, they are the ones that you say, you know what? It's a safe bet. Get an iPhone. It's easy. It's good. It's simple. It'll work.
Right.
That is the go-to one.
Right. And
So,
I would
we'll
agree
see.
with that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I don't know. It's very interesting where they're headed with this. Microsoft introduces REFS file system for Windows 8 Server. This is just an outline of what they are planning on doing with the next generation file system. They are not introducing it in Windows 8. It's only in Windows 8 Server, and it's still very limited the way that it's going to be used. I don't think we're going to see this in Windows 8. I think we're going to see this in Windows 9 if it works, or they might just scrap it. We have been hearing about a new files management system for some time now.
Well,
remember WinFS?
That's exactly my thought.
Remember WinFS? I mean, WinFS was supposed to be in Vista, and it never showed up.
And if I'm not mistaken, they also made the promise with Windows 8 that there wouldn't be any new file system.
Yeah. I mean, they do have to come up with a new one at this point, but I don't know. We're going to see what happens with that. It's not.
Is it necessarily? Here's the thing: is it necessarily the file system that needs to be changed, or is it necessarily the registry that needs to be changed?
Well, here's the thing: registry is awful, and registry is one of the main reasons why many things stop working. You really don't have,
and that's what I'm saying is, well. It's nice that they're going to look at doing something different with the file system, but let's also look at the registry. Is there something that they can do different with the registry that'll make it a lot better than where it is today? Because that's something that's been around for eons now with Windows.
You know what? In Windows 8, you have that that refresh function where it kind of cleans everything up and it fixes up registry and it fixes up your file systems. It kind of fixes up data corruption, bit rot.
Right.
They might not need to get rid of registry for some time if this kind of cleans it up. People always look at me
as effective as you're making it out to be.
I mean,
I
think it will be. I think it will be. People look at me and they say, you're crazy. Why do you format every?
You are crazy. What are you talking about?
I know I am, but they say, why do you format every 6 to 8 months? You don't need to format every 6 to 8 months. That's ridiculous. There's no reason there's something wrong if you need to format. No, that's not true. System
because
it's
been proven over time.
Yeah,
Windows operating system, the performance does slow down over time just because there's just so much wasted stuff left over.
Yeah, I kind of have to do it. I haven't done it in some time, but this kind of eliminates that, and I'm actually looking forward to that feature. It's a very good feature, but we'll see what happens. You want to pick a story before we go into our pick?
Yeah, I want to talk about this AT&T price hike that they're doing now. So starting on Sunday, AT&T is going to charge you $5 more for their data plans. They're making a little bit of a change. Let me see the stats here. So now they have the $15 plan for 200 megabytes. That's going to change to $20 for 300 megabytes. The $25 plan for 2 gigabytes now becomes $30 for 3 gigabytes. And the 5 gigabyte plan stays the same at 5 gigabytes, but you're also going to pay $50 for it now. So basically what you're going to get is $10 per gigabyte on AT&T.
$10 per gig.
It's a little bit better than Verizon when you compare that middle tier. But overall, I still think it's a lot of money.
None of them have unlimited at this point, right?
No,
unlimited does not exist, especially with 4G.
No,
what do you get with 4G?
It's very interesting.
What do you get with 4G? It's still 5 gigs.
Yeah.
That's baffling.
And you're still paying $50 for it.
No, $40.
Really?
Yeah, $39.99. Yeah. I believe it's $39.99.
But it's really interesting because I looked into this a little bit further, and it's really interesting in just what's going on here. I think what's going on and what people are saying is really happening here is that AT&T is actually looking to pad their pockets just a little bit more because when they came out with these new tiered plans in 2010, they said that 98% of their subscribers don't need more than 2 gigabytes of data per month. Here they are changing the plans, raising it by $5 and raising the limit a little bit now to 3 gigabytes. So if you're saying that 98% of your customers don't need more than 2 gigabytes, and so now you're raising it to 3 and charging them $5 more, even though they're not going to use any more data. So you're asking them to pay $5 extra each month for virtually no gain.
Yeah, I qualified. I'm looking at my thing. I have double the bandwidth on my 4G, double the cap. So I should have 4. I have 8 I have 8 gigs on mine.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's great.
Yeah. I have 8 gigs for $39.99. It's not bad at all. I mean, if considering.
No, I just think these plans these days are appalling in price per bandwidth. I really do. They're saying it's an interesting world out there because they're saying 40% of typical subscribers out there don't use more than about 400 megabytes per month. So I understand that, but there are a lot of people out there that are heavy users. What do you do with those? You're gonna charge them overages and everything else because you want to keep these plans smaller. Why don't you offer some sort of cheaper plan? I would love it if instead of it's $10 per gigabyte, what if it was $5 per gigabyte?
Well, they're gonna have to eventually. I mean, this is the big problem with the caps. This is the problem with 4G and 3G. They give it to you. They give you 4G. They advertise that you can watch a video game. You can watch the football game on there, and you can watch this, and you can watch that.
Why don't they start? The 2 gigabyte plan for $20, and then for every additional gigabyte that you want, it's going to cost you another $5. So if you want 3 gigabytes, it'll be $25.
I got an email the other week, and I was saying how I'm amazed at the fact that people are complaining about their 4G speeds. Like, there are people that complain, and I'm in a major market. I'm in New York City, so I'm getting better speeds than most people. But somebody was saying, I hear a lot of people saying, well, it's not true 4G. It's not true 4G. It's crippled. It's 3G and a half.
What you had before, but
no. It's 3G and a half. It's not real 4G. I'm getting 20 megabits up and 20 megabits down with 4G.
But then again,
that to me,
typically new network.
I'm getting Fios speeds. And the guy goes, well, true 4G is 40 megabits. I'm like, really? I'm like, name me someone right now that has 40 megabits at home. It is phenomenal speeds that I'm getting. Phenomenal with 4G. I can't complain about that. Better than most people in this country. Name me someone that has 20 megabits up and 20 megabits down on 4G.
Not me.
And by the way, I've tested this multiple times with 4G in multiple areas, and I get anywhere from 15 to 22. Up and down. The down is a little lower. But it's excellent speeds. Great speeds.
Yeah, I'd love to have something like that on my phone.
Yeah.
The problem is that once you get up to that, you're expecting it to use it for all sorts of media now. And I think people are just going to abuse that. Not necessarily that it's bad to abuse it, but abuse it in terms that carriers are saying, well, you can't use this. You can't use more than 3 gigabytes.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so guys, time for the picks of the week. You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first this week.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so my pick this week is extension for Firefox, Chrome, and I believe, I'm not 100% sure, Internet Explorer. I think they have a version for the Internet Explorer as well, called Tracker Block, and it gives you complete control over online tracking, usable in multiple methods, cookie blocking, persistent opt-out cookies, Flash and HTML5 control, and do not track signals. So you know how there's a lot of this privacy stuff going around, even with SOPA and this PIPA stuff. So this is a really great add-on for Firefox, Chrome, and I believe, as I said, Internet Explorer. It gives you complete control over your tracking. You can block cookies and have it automatically delete every time you close your browser. Kind of supplements what's already built into Firefox and Chrome. And also, if you install the NoScript add-on, Tracker Block can stop over 550 tracking companies from reading or writing cookies on your computer and then delete them after you're done using them, which is really cool. It's very easy to set up. It's kind of like AdBlock Plus. If you've ever used AdBlock Plus, you just install it and it kind of comes set up for you, just select what list you want. With Tracker Block, it's already set up for you. You really don't even have to do anything. It has all 550 companies already checked to block for you. So it's really cool if you don't want to have any of your information tracked or whatever from site to site. This is a very good add-on for Firefox, Chrome, and Internet Explorer. It's called Tracker Block, and I believe you can get it at privacychoice.org.
Excellent. My pick this week is an Android app. I got on my Nexus. It's called Camera Zoom FX. It's a great camera replacement. It does many things. I actually have a video here I'll pull up and does a pretty decent job at explaining what it is. And here's the video.
Camera Zoom FX brings a full set of photography features to your device, from powerful camera functions to over 90 stunning photo effects. Packed with features that your standard camera app doesn't include, your photos will improve the instant you start using Camera Zoom FX. Your photo options are endless with Camera Zoom FX, but thanks to its incredibly easy to use interface, you can capture the perfect moment without any fuss. The left bar offers you zoom, focus, flash, and front-facing camera support. The right sidebar lets you change the shooting mode. Choose from normal, stable shot, timer, burst mode, time-lapse, collage, and voice activation.
So you can pretty much, I mean, the cool thing is that we don't have a lot of the, on iOS, it's like a million of these, but this does a pretty decent job, and in my opinion, it kind of is the best camera function. And I like the fact that you could do, I'll show you right now. You could actually leave it on like automatic, like you know how those like vintage effects are like the thing that's in at this point. Everybody does that stuff. You could actually, as I'm trying to open this because it's doing an update, you could actually put it on like a random mode, and it does a really good job at the pictures. I mean, it's a really good camera app. It's called Camera Zoom FX. It's right now. It's on sale, I believe, in the App Store in the marketplace. Let me just see what the price is. $2.99 right now in the marketplace. It's 40% off. It's a really good app, and if you have an Android phone, I recommend you get this. This is the camera app for Android. Camera Zoom FX in the marketplace, and the website is androidslide.com. That's my pick.
Cool.
You should try it on your parents' phone.
I should.
Yeah, it's a really cool app.
I'll get them addicted to using Instagram and whatnot.
You know what? There's no Instagram yet. There's no Instagram on Android.
Really?
Yeah, it's still. We have no Instagram. I'm hoping to get in. They said within the first or second quarter we should be getting Instagram, so I'm waiting for that. So hopefully sometime soon. I want to remind everybody you could go to our website, guysfromqueens.com. You could also go to our streaming site and chat with us. There's about 20 people in there right now. We had a crash in the chat room, but I encourage everybody to participate and chat with us at gfqlive.tv. Each and every one of our shows are archived on our website at Guys from Queens. We're also on iTunes, on the Zune, on Stitcher. We're on TuneIn. Pretty much everywhere you can imagine. You can get more information at guysfromqueens.com. For myself and Sunkast, we wish you a Happy New Year. Because it's New Year's again, and that's what I wanted to say. Good night, everybody.